Welcome to the details. Let me take you through it. It's been almost 15 months since Martin Amidu was sworn in as Ghana's first special prosecutor. Some Ghanaians are beginning to ask what he has achieved in the time being. JoyNews has found that he has filed one case in court so far. An exclusive document detailing the cases he's been following is what we have, and we'll be sharing that with you. A number of them have either not been assigned or are awaiting someone's input. We have an interview with board chairperson Linda Ofoyi-Kwafo shortly, but first, Kojo Youngson will be joining me with more of the details of what we have in paper. But let's listen to Linda Ofoyi-Kwafo, and Kojo will join me right after that.
The expectation should be that the office would list. How I wish I can read a section to you. I take this whole interview as a form of public education.
Yeah.
And so let's just go to section 3.3 of the Act.
Okay.
Okay, so the office shall, on a half-yearly basis, publish the following information in at least 2 daily newspapers of national circulation and on the website of the office. A. The list of corruption cases investigated and prosecuted by the office. And B. The number of acquittals, convictions, and cases pending in respect of the cases prosecuted under paragraph A, and the value of proceeds recovered, if any. So these are the things the OSP is supposed to list and make public. And I'm sure supposed to do it on a half-yearly basis. I make this argument. Obviously, it's a new, fresh office that has to be set up properly in order for it to be able to execute its functions and mandates effectively. It will need some time to set up properly. Then, on a half-yearly basis, obviously the OSP was appointed, I'm sure, somewhere February 2018. The board was came or inaugurated around July 2018. And so the first 6 months will be the time to put things in place. The second 6 months we're already in, and we are actually now, I'm sure, in the third 6 months. So it is more possible that the office should be able to do something of this nature. But the first 6 months, it will be, I don't know the word to use, but any Ghanaian expected a report of this nature. It could have been published in blank sheet, because a report of this nature couldn't have obviously been published. So I'm sure because it's the mandate of the office and not the board, the office should be able to do this, because this is a provision of the law, and because I am an advocate for transparency and accountability, is something very dear to my heart. That is the only time the public gets to know some of the things that are happening within the office.
So have you had conversations with Mr. Amidu about it? Do you know what his plans are?
Anytime I've tried to talk about this subject, the next thing I know, Linda Ofoyi-Kwafo says a list will be published soon. Now people tell me I'm a politician.
No, that's why we brought a camera, so that people will not be confused about what you said and what you didn't say.
Kojo, I believe in the laws that we have, and I believe we are supposed to work according to the law. So this is a responsibility, and the office must and should do that.
So have you had conversations with Mr. Amidu about it?
The office will do that.
I'm wondering whether you have had these conversations.
Personal conversation.
Chair, and this is something that is dear to your heart.
So dear to the hearts of the board members.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes.
So, yes, is that something that you brought up with Mr. Amidu?
You need not even bring this up. Mr. Medu also is a seasoned lawyer and he knows the implications of some of these things, and I'm sure he knows that this will be done.
So what has he said officially about it, about when he intends?
I think I am the one who has made official comments about this, but I know it will be done. Take my words.
Okay. So Mr. Amidu has not said anything to the board officially about when he is going to publish the information?
Try to remember. All I can say for now is that it will be done.
How do you know this? How do you know that it will be done?
Could it be done because I'm a board member? Must Mr. Amidu say it before it will be done? No.
You will ensure that it's done?
Yes, please.
Okay. And how are you going to do that?
Ensuring that it is done.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. I mean,
it's one of the ways you. Oh, the procedure. It's just taking. Knowing because he already knows what he's been doing. So what are the things he's doing that falls within these two sub-provisions of Section 2.2 of the Act, and that will be done.
So you already know the things he's been doing that fall within those two provisions.
It is talking about lists, cases that are being investigated and prosecuted. I don't know the details of any case.
But you know the list of cases.
I don't know the list of cases. I just told you earlier, I don't even know the numbers. It has been mentioned before, I don't remember them.
So I'm just
I know the ones that we all know in the public domain.
Okay.
So that's the board chairperson of the Office of Special Prosecutor, Linda Ofoikwa, speaking to Kojo Yankson. But he's joined me in the studio now. We have the details. You heard them talking about a particular document that needs to be published. Well, that document has not yet been published, but we have it here. Of course, your credible source of information. Kojo is going to take us through that information. Kojo, it's good to have you on the show.
It's good to be
now,
here.
We're going to go through the cases one after the other, but let's begin with that one case that has already proceeded to court. Tell us a bit more about this.
Yes, so out of the 25 cases that we have information on, this one was filed in court last week. It's a case of procurement breach regarding the purchase of some ambulances by the Boku Municipal Assembly and the Health Directorate. There are 7 respondents in this case. Mahama Yariga, former Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, is one of them. And the other 6 are not named in the document. So it simply says Mahama Yariga and 6 others.
Okay.
This is the case which is currently in court out of the 25 that we know of.
Okay, and do we have any information, any update at all on this one case and how far it has gone?
Well, it was filed last week.
It was filed last week. Very well. Now let's go on with the other cases. I mean, what are the cases that you can readily share with us at the moment?
Okay, well, some of them involve some recognizable names, high-profile individuals.
We can take it one after the other.
So we'll take a few of them. Yes. First, there is a case of suspected misappropriation of public funds and money laundering in relation to some 2 properties, one in Ghana and one in South Africa. Actually, it doesn't say 2 properties, it just says properties in Ghana and South Africa.
So it's safe to assume that it's
right.
2.
Well, yes, and the respondent in this particular case is Nana Oyelifa.
Okay.
And she has given a statement to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and that is the latest action taken on that case.
Okay.
There's also a case of abuse of public office for private benefit. It is regarding the sole-sourced contract of 100.2 million Ghana cedis. This, I believe, is in relation to some street lights, a contract to provide some street lighting. The respondent is Mrs. Kennedy Ajapong.
Okay.
And it says that the case is yet to be assigned for investigation. We also have a case of abuse of office, breach of procurement process, and this regards Charlotte Osei, Georgina Mankwa, Alaji Amadou Sule, And this is also a case yet to be assigned to an investigator. But this is a well-known matter.
The AC former commissioners, and how those that story played out in the public as well. Very well.
Absolutely.
So yet to be assigned as well to that one?
Yet to be assigned.
Okay.
There's a procurement malpractice case regarding Metro Mass. This also made the headlines some time ago. Yeah. The respondents are Rose Owusu and Bennett Abuaji. Rose Owusu happens to be the procurement officer for Metro Mass, and she's currently on bail. This follows her detention. She was detained for 2 days. This was at a time when she was a nursing mother, according to our sources. And the petitioner, the person who brought the case to the office of the special prosecutor, has to produce a witness, and then the case can proceed. I'll give you perhaps 4 more. Abuse of public office in the sale of contaminated fuel. That's another popular one.
Which also came up last week.
That's right. Alfred Obing and George Mensah Oakley are the respondents there. Now, this is interesting. This is alleged diversion of $13 million regarding EO Group. Okay, the money is supposedly from EO Group, and it was diverted. And the respondents in this case is John Dramani Mahama, former president of Ghana. This is also a case yet to be assigned by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I can give you details of 2 more cases. This is a case of abuse of public office and misappropriation of public funds to the tune of $3 million cash for 2 mansions. The respondent named here is Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. But get this, this is the status of the case. It is waiting on the former President Rawlings to confirm the suspect's name in order to start.
So essentially, one could just put it that way, just so you know, it's the case versus what's on the special prosecutor's books as the status of the case. So when he says yet to be assigned, that's the status assigned to that particular case on the books of the special prosecutor. So in this particular case involving Ofosu-Kwakye, the former Deputy Minister of Information, it says that the status is awaiting confirmation from former President Rawlings.
Waiting on former President Rawlings to confirm suspect's name.
To confirm suspect's name.
So,
but the case is written in a way that includes the name of the former.
Well, the respondent listed for the case is Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. And I think we have to be fair that a respondent does not necessarily mean that that person is the accused. There might be someone required to provide information. Just to
so that name has been listed in the books of the special prosecutor as a respondent.
That's right. I'll add one more. Now, this is also a popular one, or a well-known one. We've heard about it in the press.
And whilst Kojo settles with that for us, let me just quickly announce that we have Daniel Batidam, who is a former advisor on corruption to then President John Mahama. He's on the line. He'll be joining me in this conversation. Mr. Batidam, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Right, I'll be getting to you momentarily, right after Kojo finishes with the final story, the final
case here, according to this document from our source. Breach of procurement process, Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company Limited. Francis Isiam is listed as the respondent, and the respondent is on bail. And has been asked to bring some documents to facilitate the investigation.
Well, I don't know how much we know about this, but when they say someone is on bail, just so our viewers understand, what does it mean in the context of the Special Office of the Special Prosecutor?
Well, in the context of any case of bail, and the Office of the Special Prosecutor has arrest powers. So if you are if you are on bail, that means you have been arrested and then
granted bail. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Kojo will stay with me a little longer. Let me go over the phone and talk to Daniel Batidam. Like I said, he's a former advisor on corruption to the former President John Mahama. Mr. Batidam, I don't know if you've been following what we've just been discussing, but this is about cases or a list of cases in the books of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. It's been a year since the Special Prosecutor's Office was set up. So far, what we know is that one case has proceeded to court. What do you make of this?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you are talking about in terms of the list. Is this a list published by the Office of the Special Prosecutor?
a list secured through our sources.
Oh, okay. So it's not official, so to speak.
So to speak.
Yeah, I just want to be on the safe side because, you know...
this has not been published by the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Okay,
but it is a credible list.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I don't know what to say about the list and its content, but my concern will be about the modus operandi of the office. I have followed the work of the office and the pronouncements of the special prosecutor himself consistently, and I think early this year he granted an interview where he said that they would only come out to publish or talk about cases of persons brought before them when a prima facie case has been established. What I'm hearing from you and from what the list you are reading out is about all manner of cases of allegations of corruption and people that have been are supposed to be, you know, involved in one wrongdoing or the other. Part of some of which we have also read in the news outlets and social media and so on. I don't get it. I don't get what the essence of such a list would be, unless it is a way of communicating to the public about what the Office of the Special Prosecutor is doing. And I think this is important in light of the fact that, especially in recent times, we have heard calls, including from members of the ruling government, on the office to update the public on what it is doing, because the general perception.
That updates, those calls for updates have not necessarily had any responses yet. Now, this is our own work here at JoyNews, looking into the work of the special prosecutor so far. Now, the essence is that it's been a year. People would, I mean, there were a lot of the expectations were high, and over a year, there's one case in court so far. In terms of, and I'm putting this to you because you've been advising the presidency on corruption. Regarding the fight against corruption, if it's taking a whole lot of resources and a whole lot of time to set up an office of special prosecutor, and within a year we've had one case, would you say that is good because, first of all, the office is taking its time to investigate the matter? Or would you say that really we're not taking the fight against corruption seriously at all?
Well, I will certainly answer your question, but let me explain the essence of me asking whether this is from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I do ask, and I think that question is important because I would find it strange that a year on, this would be the kind of thing that the Office of Special Prosecutor has to put in the public domain. I mean, this is no information. It is of no value to me for the public, the Office of Special Prosecutor to be telling us the list of cases that they have been.
So again, I need to be clear about this, Mr. Batidam. This is not a list released or published by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, but we know that this is what's in the books of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Just so we're clear.
I would like to break from an angle where we can assess what the office is doing on the basis of what the office says it has done or is doing.
Okay, so we spoke to the chairperson of the board of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. One of the things that she says is that the Office of the Special Prosecutor doesn't even seem to have enough lawyers. Kojo, this is what she told you in that interview, that they don't have lawyers.
That is correct. She said that.
To that interview at 12 midday, and I think essentially what we are hearing is a repetition of the Special Prosecutor himself has been saying for some time now, since late last year, that they don't have what they need to do their work. So in essence, the office is not working.
Okay.
And that's where I raised the issue I raised from the beginning, that what is the use of having another anti-corruption office if it is just going to be the same as all the other anti-corruption offices we have had, and with the setbacks of lacking resources, lacking personnel, and so on? Is it not better for us to have strengthened the existing anti-corruption agencies than to create another office only for that office to come out and be singing the same chorus we have heard over the years?
Very well, Mr. Batidam, let me take you into the details of the list that I have here. You advise the former president on corruption. We've seen a number of cases here, one of them including the man that you advised on corruption. Kojo, I'll have you go through that for me. What again is that case?
The one that has been presented to court.
That has the former president as a respondent.
Yes, this is the using public office for private benefit, diversion of $13 million EO group money. The case is yet to be assigned for investigation, and the respondent named is ex-president John Dramani Mahama.
And there's a number of them. There's Nana Oyelitha, who also served in that government, which you advised. There is also Phyllis Ufosukwachi, who's former Deputy Information Minister, again in the same government. There is Mahama Yarga, again in the same government. I'd like to take your thoughts on this.
Well, that's the point I can make it. First of all, I'm saying that list is useless. It doesn't make sense to me. And gladly you have said that it is not from the office. If it had come from the office of the special prosecutor official, I would have said it is a waste of public resources for the office to, after 1 year in office establishment, to come and be telling us, giving us this list. The issue is, what have they been doing about the cases that have been brought to them? And you have said only one case has gone to court for prosecution. That is what we should concern ourselves about. But I don't really want to put any weight on the list of people.
Very well, Mr. Batidam.
You have done justice to it yourself by saying when somebody is mentioned as a respondent, it does not necessarily mean.
Mr. Batidam, thank you very much for your time. Mr. Batidam advised the former President John Mahama on corruption, sharing his thoughts with us on this. Kojo, this is not all. I mean, there's still a lot more on this.
Yes, we've been picking up lots more information, which we will be putting out in the fullness of time. But I can say that there is a lot going on in the Office of the Special Prosecutor, if even not all of it is translating into conclusion of cases. There is still a lot going on, including accusations of corruption.
So I got a little bit confused. So when you say there's a lot going on, I was going to ask you, are there more prosecutions in cases that have gone to court? Right.
No, these are just goings on in the office.
Okay.
Including accusations of corruption that have led to the removal of one employee. Okay.
So perhaps these are things that are not necessarily helping the Office of the Special Prosecutor to push through some of these cases.
Contributing to the state of affairs in the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
So, Kojo, thank you very much. Is there anything more we need to know about the list?
I think we can leave it there for now. There's more to come.
There's more to come, he says. Watch this space. In fact, you've been watching this space all the time. Keep your eyes on this space. Kojo, thank you very much for that information. So Kojo Yangson there, my colleague who's been doing some work on this, bringing us up to speed on what is happening at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So we brought you a list of cases we understand being worked on at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, even though one has proceeded to court so far in the 1 year period that the office has been set up. We spoke to Daniel Batidam, who advised the former government on corruption, about his thoughts.